team. So now they can maybe pick something like a Beastmaster type hero that just enables you. You want to threaten the Roche, I think, when you have heroes like Nigma that are very stationary in the early to mid game, and you want to kind of drag them around, forcing them to look to use their ultimate but not be able to. That's kind of how I look at it. And since you have the Slark Puck, you're definitely looking for that mobile game. And they go for the tree. Off lane tree?
Corvin?
No, it could be Corvenge.
It might be Corvenge.
It could be either.
I like 3 Venge. And I really like 3 Venge with 4 Treant if they're laning together.
Hey, this is a scary lane. Who do you pick carry into this?
Minus armor from the Venge makes Treant hit for a ridiculous amount in the lane. Yeah. Venge struggles a little bit with running heroes down in lane, but Treant has those 2 reliable slows, so you can keep running at people. And I think also Treant has a side benefit in this game in his ability to just mess with Chen. It's honestly pretty annoying. If the Treant plays really well, he can run around blocking camps with his tree walking, has really easy access to placing wards that you don't see, so you don't get your camps the way you want. It's pretty cool. It's very different, I would say.
And also, there's just a lot of heroes that come to mind for me against Slark, like the Void, that just don't feel good anymore. Because you have this Treant Venge, like they don't want to lane against it. That you have the save from the Venge. Naga makes sense. They already banned out the PL. We've been seeing a lot of Naga picked up when the PL's banned, and it's already a good PL game. Pretty similar heroes in terms of what they're good against. The Manta Builder against Tree. You have the setup for Black Hole. Overall, we've been seeing mixed success from Naga, but it is quite good against Slark. Who's the mid laner again? Puck?
Probably, yeah.
Not nearly as good against Puck as it was against TA last game.
I mean, could you put just Tiny versus Puck, or does not work?
No, I'm saying like in the game.
Yes.
Like
you could put Tiny against Puck and put Naga in the safe lane, but I'm not sure if Naga Chen can do well against a well-playing Venge Treant. It sounds pretty tough for Naga in the start. Like, Naga's general laning presence comes from having high base armor and using the illusions, but Treant's damage is kind of just overwhelming for most safe lane heroes.
So you got to choose between a lesser evil, I guess? Like, who do you want to have a better game?
I think
surely the Naga.
I think you put the Tiny mid still. You want the levels, because if you look at the Nigma lineup, it's really slow. You've got Naga and Enigma in the same team. Yeah. That's very slow, so somebody has to compensate. Give Weeha levels, let him make moves around the map and buy time.
We definitely talked. This really does write the story of what we talked about going into this series of Team Nigma is the team that wants to stabilize first 10, 15 minutes, get online, and then execute their game plan better than everyone else. And then RNG is the team that just snowballs the momentum from the laning stage. They don't necessarily have like crazy strong lanes, but all 3 of their cores pretty strong in lane, and they are momentum heavy. Puck, Slark, whoever the core is, the Treant or the Venge. So I'm going to believe in RNG to force the issue, but if this game's even at like 15, 20 minutes, I favor Nigma, but I don't think it's going to be the case.
I agree.
Same?
Exactly.
All right. Well, my 2 analysts have spoken. There's 2 other people that might have different opinions. I doubt it at this point, though. Let's hear from Cap and Kyle.
That's right, Cheever. It's an enigma for Team Nigma, and Kyle, you have a theory about this, and I would love to actually hear a little bit more on it, because we talked a little bit about it on the panel, but I want to hear it again.
Oh, what? Just Enigma kind of provides the best of both worlds in the offlane, in the sense that you're going to have creeps that you can help push, and you can also buy all the items you would need, and it's a hard counter to Slark Wisp. The hardest thing as a Slark is when you're playing against multiple heroes that can ignore your ultimate. Now you can song out of it and just wait underneath, or you drop the pulse and you black hole, and Slark just takes so much % damage that you go down.
Do you agree with our panel, though, that this is going to be tough for Team Nigma to be able to buy enough time? It's a slower lineup having 2 cores like this, both in the Enigma as well as the Naga side.
You know, it seems that way, but I think they'll be a lot more aggressive than the panel's giving it credit for, especially if you go for like an HOD build on the Enigma. You have a Chen Rubik. These are very active supports. This is going to be a tiny mid. Arguably the best ganking mid in Dota right now. This is not exactly a lineup that has to do nothing, right? And Naga, while sure you will scale into the late game, the big benefit of the hero, 10 armor once you're under tower. You're one of the better laners in Dota 2. Yeah. And yes, sure, it looks like maybe this will be a tri-lane down bottom. That would be interesting. It is a core Venge. The problem with the RNG lineup is that they just don't have any true Naga answers. They need to snowball, they need to win the lanes, and effectively just crush through the map and force Nigma onto their side of the map at all times.
Well, I'll just say I hope they're just getting the bounty rune and bouncing, because I don't know if
The battle begins.
I think they're already ill-equipped to be able to deal with the Naga Siren, and I'm not convinced a tri-lane is going to fix those issues, but we'll see. Miracle already takes a fair amount of damage here and could be chased down as Kuro, well, he's going to do what he can. Miracle's going to try and cut through the trees. Of course, that is Train Protector. You're not going to be able to get away from him, and that will be your first blood. Well, speaking all this doom and gloom, but a first blood for the offlaner.
I'll be honest, watching Dota for the last few days has felt like a time jump back in the past. And one thing that's been missing are tri-lanes. And we're not going to see one here, but I'm very shocked we haven't seen any, because that's an easy way to shut down a Naga, right? Just put 3 heroes up against them, especially if one's a Treant. This bottom lane is strong still.
I've heard tri-lanes reference, some pro players were like, you know, people think this Train Protector is so broken, but like everyone just defaults dual lane sort of deal. Like, I'm with you in the fact that I am a little bit surprised. People aren't trying to abuse the laning phase a little bit more, seeing how important it is.
It reminds me like when Omni first started getting picked, because for so long it was the highest win rate pub hero in Dota. It was approaching 60%, but never got picked in competitive. Then by day 2 when it started, it was being first two. It's one of those like gentlemen's agreements, right? Like we won't tri-lane. It is kind of tedious to watch, especially in like a 3-on-1 scenario in both side lanes. So perhaps we'll just wait until later when teams lose the honor.
Were you one of those players, Kyle? Were you willing to forsake honor to be able to get a sneaky win?
It depends. We did. I mean, there were definitely some shenanigans. For a while, it's funny, like, last pick Brood or Huskar was seen as unclassy, whereas nowadays, if you're not afraid of that, you're being silly.
Yeah, nowadays, it's you do what you do to get the win. Our mid lane already seems to be going pretty well for Setsu. And this is a player who I think has been set up for success in this tournament, and it has paid off big dividends for RNG. He has been leading the way in a lot of these games, and just being the bid tempo controller and winning his matchups and then winning the side lanes for them.
Illusion!
He's off to a really nice start. Puck definitely one of the faster snowballing heroes. The problem will just be that, sure, in the mid game you can deal with this Naga, you could combo him down, find kills, but once you get the Manta illusion up and you can just dispel the silence and do an immediate song, suddenly there's really no answer to the Miracle Naga. And if there's one player in Dota that you're afraid of with the overall last pick, totally uncountered hard carry, it's got to be this man.
I was talking to Rob a little bit about Nigma's playstyle, and I think that's something that has been sort of concrete in that they just are maintaining. There's no swapping around like they used to do with old Team Liquid and Matumba Man and such. They're keeping Weehaw in the mid lane, and they're keeping him on those tempo controllers, and they're giving Miracle the hard carrying. It just seems to be like a formula that they're willing to pump out time and time again.
Yep. And it's funny, too, because you saw another team, EG did the same, right? With the split up of Arteezy Sumail, you no longer have that role swap. It's just, Arteezy is our carry. We're going to try and put him on the win condition every single game. Even though Kuro is still torn up about the loss of Matu almost 6 months ago at this point, it's just that they thought this was the best business decision for the team. Let Miracle play the true one every single game, ride or die with him.
Why do you think some, like you said, EG is doing that, and obviously Nigma did that, so why do you think teams are drifting that direction? Does that have to do with meta? Does that have to do with something they learned from the 2-time TI winners? I
just feel like the game's gotten so complex nowadays. There's so many different variables you've got to worry about, not just playstyle, but item decisions, laning, rotations. It's so complicated if you also have this misunderstanding of like, okay, wait, who's playing which lane again? Who's actually going to play our carry? It just makes it simpler, I think. You already have plenty to innovate on. You don't need to do it with who's going mid any longer.
So let people just focus on what they do best, sort of deal.
There's also such a wide, diverse range of hero pools, whereas previously you'd see people more hero specialized and have the lane change. Nowadays, it seems like more players master their lane and then have 15, 20 heroes in the repertoire that they've mastered.
I have to say, I'm impressed by Flyby right now. It being top CS with Eventual Spirit doesn't really have the best starting base damage, so I'm surprised that he's doing so well against this Naga Siren. What do you think about this core bench? It's a curveball that RNG threw us.
It is, and I love it personally, especially when you consider you're playing with a puck. It's a simple coil and to swap out. Even if you were to buy a BKB, if you have Ags on both here, or Ags on the puck, it's still like a 4.5 second stun through BKB. There's no counterplay to it. The Venge is going to swap you regardless. It's quite nice. You have a lot of AoE control thanks to the tree, so you don't really...
Kuro could be in trouble here, September. You can't juke through the trees, man. It's just something so annoying about the Train Protector, and it's something that you easily forget every single time, but you pretty much just have to run in a straight line against that hero.
The only downside of the Venge is traditionally you're very weak against one thing, either creeps or illusions. Obviously, Naga and Enigma are going to provide both. You just don't do anything to a Naga Siren. He's going to want to probably go for more of a right-click build. I imagine he'll need a Mjolnir at some point. You need to find a way of dealing with these illusions.
Okay, but I feel like what you gave me was that could be easily applied to Vengeful Spirit as a support as well. Why do you think they ran it as a core specifically, right? Because they could have had a 4 Venge, still done the swapping shenanigans with a puck and
I think
picked a different offlaner.
They just wanted an answer to the Enigma. Tria, no matter what, will always be able to interrupt that BKB black hole, so we can expect Mind Control to be forced into a more aura sustain item build. He's doing amazing, by the way. 29 and 28 on Enigma. That is incredible. I'm sure some of those are Eidolon denies, but either way, you can look at the XP differential, right? 4.5 already on this Radiant side, still just level 3 on RNG.
Yeah, against a support that has no nukes, they don't have an easy way to be able to actually claim the last hit on these Eidolons. So a Wiz is going to come out, poke at one of them, and then Mind Control's like, boop, just denies it away from him.
I really like this dueling setup. It was similar to what they did yesterday with the Fury and Disruptor combo. You have a bunch of creeps and then 2 ranged heroes. Same scenario here, and it makes GH, it just activates his hero, right? Because he doesn't need, he doesn't provide too much. Hold up, Weeha's getting gone.
Oh, he's going to stretch that coil to its limits, and he's going to try and dodge the orb. Still gets hit by it. Setsu's not able to quite finish him off, but he has jumped on him with the silence. Weeha's still tanky enough. He can survive through a couple more hits. He's going to try and hide away the trees, but he knows Setsu. He roots him out and jumps away to his orb. Very nice kill there. Fly is actually going to challenge Kuro here, and he's going to win that challenge for sure, especially with the living armor on him. And Kuro dies once again. Well, he's creating a lot of space for Miracle, I guess.
Hey, he's keeping him off him at least. And yeah, you can see that's going to be the HOD build on Mind Control. It's really cool. 5 different heroes, but that same concept is what they used in Game 3 yesterday against Pandas in that decider. You just push so fast. Mind Control pop Eidolons, he'll have a creep, and suddenly all these towers could just die in a quick rotation, especially once he hits 6. What's Monet supposed to do? He can't camp here any longer. There's no stun on the IO.
Yeah, that was something that I was a bit surprised, moving from one esports and then this event as well. It's like, teams were willing to play slower and slower. They were willing to draft more hard carries, get a little bit greedier, and it seems like Nigma have spotted that trend and said, well, we know how to counter that. GH gonna be chased down here. Nice 2-man coil, so they might be able to pick up the extra kill, but Super's a little bit low. He's got to run away from these Eidolons. Mind Control is only level 5 here. The Rubik will finally fall. Mind Control is trying to chase down Super. Has so many Eidolons here that he feels confident being able to stand and fight, but it does feed away a lot of Eidolons over to Setsu. Not quite a hero kill, but it's a decent chunk of change.
As what BSJ and Sin were talking about, right? RNG's coming out with strong lanes. They've already got 5 kills in the opening, but as you can see, the net worth lead not quite there. A big part of that's just because this top lane has done such a great job of hard denying. So as you can see, Slark, oh man, that's rough. Because this is the hero, if there's something that can deal with the Naga that actually gets ahead and secures you the game, it's going to be the Slark. And he's just above Kuro's Chen. This is not where you want your carry to be. And it's just really cool by Nigma because this Enigma specifically shuts down the game winner for RNG.
Yeah.
Even if they fall a bit behind, they get more time on the clock before they really get in trouble because Slark's going to need to recover. And RNG, you just can't make moves if he's still this far behind.
I think we saw like yesterday, Gambit do a little bit where they like heavily focused on shutting down a Storm Spirit, XS Vampire, and it's like tiny rotations. They heavily focused on it because they're like, that's the one win condition. You know, sometimes it doesn't matter if you lose your other lanes as long as you keep the main hero of the enemy team down.
And the thing about Puck, I know there's been changes. The late game is significantly stronger than it was in the past, but you're still a snowballer. It's similar to the Monkey King that we saw the other day, a lot like Quap. Ooh, Monet.
Ooh, that's a little bit close. Weeha not going to be able to close that distance quite yet to be able to get that toss. But they are at least still keeping the Slark on his toes and away from that level 6, which then allows him to jungle a lot more proficiently. And it just kind of builds up from there. That means Miracle's getting a lead on him, quite heavy one at that.
The man to watch is Setsu. He's rotated up towards top. I like this decision because otherwise mind control, he's just going to pressure this Slark and eventually take tower. Instead, you take your puck with the huge advantage, plant him there, and just let Monet recover middle as the Tiny is going to look to start moving around the map.
Well, we are going to be able to get 3 for RNG and Belled Outpost. Well done. That's just the value of the Train Protector right there, right? He sneaks the Bounty Rune and the Outpost at bottom, and they already had control over top.
Nice job. Right place, right time. Yeah, we got to keep our eye on Setsu because there's really no true answer to the puck right now. At the same time, it's one of those ganking snowball or mid heroes. You die 1 or 2 times in the early mid game, you start falling off hard. All of a sudden, Miracle doesn't feel as much pressure, and you're in trouble. And dude, he already got 2 of the best items for Naga: the Broom Handle and the Ironwood Branch.
Just some nice raw stats. Miracle will play around mid because it's a nice place to play as an Augustine, right? You just push out a wave, then go default jungle for a little bit. You don't feel any pressure of being ganked this close to your tower and being that tanky of a hero, 1200 HP.
And it's the nice job. Good side kill. It's going to be the team fight of Nigma that's important, and what they've done so far, yeah, you're bleeding kills around the map, but you've kept your towers alive. In fact, they haven't even felt much pressure. That's huge because you're so good at taking big engagements around objectives. You have a song into Black Hole. Like, we've seen this how many times succeed in Dota 2.
Would you agree with this analysis in that, like, in a way, towers just means more chances for those kind of team fights to succeed? Flywind. Okay, they have the relocate coming in. That's why they were being so aggressive. Weehan's going to get caught by the overgrowth, ensuring that Setsu can't help get the kill with helping hand in Super, who lands the last hit. They're going to probably lead the puck here to be able to chase down Kuro, who doesn't have, I think, a ton of hope in surviving here as he's now slowed down by September. Swap back even. And they can even deal with the neutral creeps and maybe finish off this tower.
And this is what RNG's done all tournament, right? I'm telling you, they're on a clock. But if you can continue to make these sorts of plays, nice escape there from the Wisp on the exit of that fight. This is where they're strong. The map is split. Someone plays a little aggressive. Nig will get antsy. Then boom, there's a reload. You pick up 2 kills. You kill a tower. Now a 2K lead at just 12 minutes. It's about maintaining this momentum. This is not a large enough lead. They've got to expand it. By 20 minutes, you want to be at least 6K gold ahead, preferably a couple more towers, maybe even a Roche thread.
And it should be, I think it's pretty reasonable to expect that, especially since they should be able to take more objectives. I'm surprised they're actually losing top lane right now, seeing as they have a Train Protector, but it seems like nobody is able to make that kind of rotation to defend it. In Mind Control, he gets the tower, and I'm not even sure if he's going to be that upset if he dies here. Setsu TPing in behind him onto the outpost that was still controlled by the Dire, and so sure enough, he does die.
Dude, Setsu's playing out of his mind right now. Such an impressive performance thus far. It started with the solo kill on Wii. I believe he's been a part of all but one, or actually he's been a part of every kill except for all the Kuro deaths down bottom to that dual lane.
Dire's middle tower.
I would love to see what our Train Protector's build is. If it's just been kind of the normal build so far as a 4th position. Weeha getting caught. No, okay, there's going to be a teleport coming in from Nigma. They're thinking maybe Weeha's tanky enough he can survive through this, and sure enough, he is. He's still got a good 600 HP to go. Now, the turnaround. Nigma hoping to be able to catch somebody here, but RNG have retreated to their high ground, and that's a place that Nigma will not want to pursue.
Now, it's important to note, Nigma, their issue at the moment is that before Naga's online, there's just no sustained damage. And you're playing against a Wisp and a tree with a Venge swap behind it. There's no way you can actually find kills unless someone really overextends. You can see RNG, that quick back, they're making sure they don't throw away this lead because right now they have total dominance of this map.
We wants to try and get the toss, but jumps away to the ore pretty easily, and unfortunately, Kuro and all of his creeps were not set up to catch him just yet.
Yeah. You actually have significant damage issues on Nigma. It's like all defensive. They're effectively playing for that one knockout punch around an objective where you get a 3-man black hole after a song. Maybe Tiny Rubik Chen isolates somebody with a stun lock on the side. But if RNG keeps this up, look at how they're playing the map. 1 hero top, 1 bot, 1 in the jungle, 2 mid, trying to make sure they maximize their farm all around the map. You can check out the damage. Setsu, more than the rest of his team combined thus far. A hell of a puck so far.
Meanwhile, our Slark not even up to 1K because he had a bad laning phase, and he's been trying to recover ever since.
Miracle going to be finishing his Manta first.
Are you at all surprised to see Manta? Because I thought maybe he would go for Diffusal just because you said maybe they play a little bit more aggressive.
No, you can't. Manta's the better farming item, and it also severely negates the tree's ability to hunt you throughout the jungle because you can now just dispel the root. And it's about accelerating. You are not winning this game at 30 minutes as Nigma. You're trying to buy time and get into the late game. And then the 5-6 slotted Naga like we saw in the previous game in that last series, you're looking for something like that.
Yeah, we've got so many things, right? We've got Overgrowth, we've got the Silence you could dispel, there's the Magic Missile you can dodge. All of these things just lead to Manta being an absolutely required item, which means a big power spike coming.
I love this item build on the Wisp. No boots, just Arcane Ring, mech already up. You do not have the ability to kill an RNG hero unless they're isolated. Expect them to beta fight soon here.
Yeah, well, RNG, they're going to make sure they're not isolated ever. Flywin, he's going to try and make the initiation here as Setsu follows it up with a coil that lands on a GH. They're going to try and finish off this Rubik first, but he's going to survive long enough as the Overgrowth now going down. Do they have a second round of damage? It's going to come soon from Setsu, but he's low on mana, actually. And with
Really
that
nice.
song allowing them to reset.
That's so cool from Nigma, that the fact that they have Miracle in the vicinity, while it's actually just Mind Control and Weeha just spreading out, they have no intention of fighting. It's just about delay tactics. Just buy time. Yeah, you might lose this mid tower, but force RNG to commit almost everybody and make it take as long as possible.
Is that why Kuro has 3 Eagle Song Rippers? Is he going to throw 3 tornadoes down lane or what? I've never seen that before. All right, well, here they come.
Climate change, man. These storms get bigger and bigger every year.
And RNG, they really want to finish off this tower, so they are going to commit even as the tornadoes come in. An attempt at a deny by GH, but Flywin managed to get the last hit.
Oh, no. Oh my God, a Vam Brace for Miracle. Like, as if it... You know what's insane about that? It lowers your net worth, which is... I don't know if it's intended or not, but I've seen times like that 10K, that 5K lead, like RNG just jumped up. That actually is such a huge benefit because when you're behind in Dota, you get more gold. You get more experience every time you kill enemy heroes. It's the dream to lower your net worth as the hard carry. Come on.
Yeah. GH. Gonna be found by a Setsu, who picked up a Haste Rune.
Yeah. I also realized RNG's channeling their inner wings, man. How many times do we see them run this Wisp Puck Venge combination?
I could dig it. I know plenty of online fans can dig it too, as everybody loves to be able to reference the old wings. Man, talk about like just an iconic team, man. Everybody fell in love with them. And who knows, maybe they're going to fall in love with RNG, who's already up 6K. Perhaps a little deceptive, but still ahead.
I love the item build so far. The RNG, you've got a Helm Dom and then a Hood on Fly to win, so he's just going to continuously run forwards. You know, Setsu, he can rely upon his Twitch reactions to get away and stay mobile. Monet, of course, is a Slark. He's always tough to take down. And Flywin is just going to just run in gung-ho forwards with the support of September and that Wisp.
And while, yes, we have the Naga Siren finishing up that, Manta style, accelerating his farming, as well as a great defensive option, Setsu now has his Maelstrom. So he's going to be even stronger in team fights. He almost has his level 15 for the phase shift attack, making that Maelstrom perfectly timed.
It's also necessary. I'm very glad we see this instead of something like a death. So you need to deal with illusions. Relo coming forward.
They are going to try and catch these heroes. GH is going to be spotted by September, and they have no problems blowing multiple ultimates to catch these heroes because they know Nigma do not plan on fighting them, therefore use whatever abilities you need to get the kill.
Keep on, this is all part of the plan. This is the script for this game. It was going to be Nigma on the back foot, RNG trying to take a laning phase advantage and stretching it into something dominating, but it's all part of the plan for Nigma. This is a scenario that they most likely prepped for. You know you're going to start behind. It's all about waiting for that one shot. There's the BKB upcoming on Mind Control. If you can deal with the Venge in the tree, that is an uninterruptible black hole that you can set up with a song. That's what they're waiting for. That one opportunity to turn things around, immediately get a tower, maybe even Roshan, and then this game is completely equalized and Naga starts to become a problem. But for now, RNG still looking to hunt. 7-8K ahead, only 19 minutes in.
So what's the play? You song, and then you make sure to black hole one of them, and then Tiny gets on top of the other?
Yeah, or perhaps just toss them straight in, right?
Okay,
you have a lot of options.
Okay. Let's see whether or not they're going to get the opportunity. It's 12-1 right now, 19 minutes in, as Kyle's emphasized this may look more dire, the numbers that is, than the actual situation is. Nigma do have a slower lineup expected to be behind right now.
Yeah. And oh man, I just really like this from Monet as well. Just again, they're capitalized. They want survivability. You don't really have great answers to this massive team fight of Nigma. Just ensure you can try and outlive them, right? They're lacking sustained DPS. If you can survive the burst, you've got tree armor, you got a swap out, you've got a wisp that can mech you while tethered. There's just so many options to keep yourself alive if you just don't immediately get 100-0.
Setsu already leading off on Weeha as he enters the vision. They're going to lead off with the song. So this is going to be
Everyone's
Nigma,
here.
their first real offensive blitz. Can they actually catch multiple heroes here with the black hole? They're going to be able to grab both of them. Fly, Win, and Super are stuck. They don't have a cancel, especially with telekinesis tossing him back into the black hole. The two supports, the support and the offlane are already dead. And Setsu, he's going to get caught as well. He gets blown up.
Oh, he bought back in. He's
to
here
get
again.
back in. He's actually going to buy back and try and catch these heroes with the coil out. GH almost dead, but Steel, no, he doesn't actually manage to get it off. Miracle's getting quite low. Overgrowth out. Here comes the relocate as well. The phase shift attack, and that's enough to finish off the carry of Nigma. Yes, a big win by Nigma, but RNG invest in making sure they control the tempo of this game.
I don't like those buybacks. I know that you're getting counter kills. Yeah, you even take out Miracle, but is that worth it? You don't really get an extra objective. This tier 1 would have died on respawn anyway because Nigma aren't going to look to fight you with their big cooldowns down, but that's exactly what I mean. 20 minutes, there's an outpost objective. The Treant showed bottom. They know he's not in position to root, and there's no way he gets there in time, so they can immediately set up because the Venge is getting caught.
Yeah, and it was perfectly placed, the fact that both Super and Flywin were just close enough to each other that they could get the black hole on both of them. No fear of a relocate out, and very fortunate for them that Setsu does try and get into the mix there as well and ends up dying back. And we saw like basically a 3K net worth shift off of dying and buybacking like that.
You can see how quick it happens too, right? It felt like we almost lulled RNG kind of lulled to sleep, right?
Yeah.
And then boom, there's an aggro song out of nowhere, and suddenly you've lost 2. The puck died in like Naga just shredded him, man.
Coil
Miracle.
catch, that's gonna be Curl.
But all these support kills, look at the net worth on Kuro. Like, what does he get? 224 gold? That doesn't matter to Super.
Yeah.
That was pre-BKB as well. You're going to have to play against it in that next engagement. And yes, it's a 6K lead, but keep in mind, there's 2 or 3 neutral items up on Miracle right now, so it is a bit deceiving. And that win probability graph is a bit broken at the moment because it's certainly not 100% to anybody.
I will say that RNG, like they took your idea, like yes, without the black hole, they're not going to fight anyway. So with those buybacks, they took the tier 1 tower, and they're still abusing this timing. They're going to try and take the tier 2 mid on their fresh round of life while the black hole is still down.
And this is how you got to play. But I love what they're doing. Mind Control, he is not showing up to a fight unless they're planning on it as 5. He's staying in this top zone. Miracle doing the same, cutting waves with illusions, looking to farm jungle. The other 3 heroes, they're just throwing their bodies at the enemy, camping around towers. Sure, you might lose Kuro every couple of minutes, but they don't mind because it's elongating the time that these other cores have to stay on map. Diffusal up on Miracle. Ooh, Setsu, you gotta be careful.
This is a really big kill that Setsu's trying to set up for his team. Phase shift goes off.
Beautiful.
There goes the song. Still stuck in the coil, but eventually he will be able to TP out.
Look at that. Look how many, 5 heroes.
Yeah,
5
that's
heroes
a lot of space.
All in their own jungle next to their own shrine, and look at what Nigma would do immediately. Swarm back into their woods, look to take map control back. Maybe they've got some wards to counteract, and it's just, importantly, it's space. This is, you said RNG was doing great. They're pressuring this tier 2 mid. One move by Miracle, all of a sudden all that momentum's lost. Now the creep waves starting to shove back towards the dire side of the map.
I will say though, RNG, to their benefit, they have very mobile heroes.
Yes.
So even though they show up in their own jungle, they're able to spread out across the map really quickly between Puck as well as Slark, even the Wisp.
Now there's no song, and you're looking to force another objective.
Yeah, I mean, you force down the song, get what objective you can. You don't want to force a tier 2 if you can just take Roshan instead. Use that Aegis to then take a tier 2.
And Roche is so important against this combo play of Nigma because it means you'll be able to just throw out 1 life during the black hole. Sure, it doesn't matter. You can immediately come back up. Now there's nothing left in the gas for this Radiant lineup.
Do you think Nigma has to contest this Roshan? Like, do you think Weeha has to dive in here?
I don't. I think you might just keep harassing, look for an opening, see if you can find somebody out of position. You don't want to dive into the pit necessarily without your full arsenal of cooldowns available.
It's a risky scenario, and Nigma look like they could go for it here. They're going to keep on poking, as you said. We'll see whether or not there's going to be that commitment. They also have to be careful for RNG in turn committing onto them if they step a little bit too far forward.
BKB up on the puck now. We can ignore the song and get really aggressive onto this back line.
But the BKB is complete for mind control as well.
They just have so much spam, especially with that stolen orb on Rubik. So GH is able to constantly provide vision of the pit.
Okay, they see the Treant Protector. They're going to lead up on him. They already have the chain, so they're going to be able to bring him down quite easily. And Roshan is low. There's a buyback on the tree. Monet. He's making sure that Nigma don't actually get a chance to get inside the pit. They do manage to get the two-man core. The jump pass. Immediately black hole going down. Swap. Get both of them to swap over. Cancels that very quickly. Monet into the back line, trying to trap down GH as long as possible. Miracle wants to be able to burn him out as quick as possible with the diffuser blade, but he's going to be able to finish off Curl first. Without that, Zong is actually up here, so he can reset this fight as he's being chased away, but GH is going to lose his line to Setsu first. Back farther up. They stopped chasing the Nagasiren and went instead for Mind Control's Enigma, and it looks like Weehaw doesn't actually get caught there. Oh, Miracle, are you serious? Miracle's going to try and do a sneaky little play here. He's going to try and snatch up a Roshan if he can, but Setsu spots him. He's still going to go for it. Miracle, you're crazy. You're still thinking you're going to go for it here. Silence up, pounce. Okay, now he's going to have to try and use this on the toss over the side. The toss in the air is just enough. That last shot from Setsu. It wasn't a Maelstrom proc, so Nagasiren does live.
Man, what is it with these teams in the tinies, man? I've seen too many times people being tossed into their own demise.
Weehaw goes in and he doesn't get it. The Aegis is picked up by Monet, as is the Roshan kill. Nigma, I mean, from your perspective, you're sitting here as an analyst and saying, like, I don't think they have to take that. And Nigma were willing to take the risk, and they did not get the reward.
It's just so good from Setsu. He immediately goes for mind control with BKB popped. It doesn't matter if he's getting black holed. He's not actually going to be able to, you can't kill him. There's no damage coming out. Yeah, sure, you lost September. He immediately bought back. They forced Nigma around the pit, but they weren't ever going to go and Zerg the Roche. They wanted the fight on their terms. They got it. Wiped the floor with them now 20-6. Huge lead. Really well done. And Monet, thanks to that Imp Claw, the Ring of Aquila, yeah, sure, he might be behind, but he has Echo Saber, Ags, plus the 2 neutral items and treads. He's effectively, like, he's huge.
Yeah.
His net worth might not reflect it, but those items are worth at least 3,000 combined, and that puts them on top of the game.
I really like your point about RNG. What they care about there is taking the fight.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I think, like, if you look at this lineup, a Slark or a Puck with an Aegis, that's not going to allow you to break high ground.
Yeah.
You're still going to lose to the big team fight if they can execute it correctly. So being able to win the fight and take the engagement outside of the base, that's the real win.
Yeah, and the itemization is flawless thus far. You've got the Glimmer Cape mech on the IO. Venge has gone full Aura strat, Helm Dom, Vlad's, Pipe. You don't have that option yet on Nigma because you had to go for that BKB on your Enigma. Mind Control, not able to go for those team items just yet.
Weehaw tries to get the toss away. Monet, okay. That Agams. Okay, there's the swap from Flywind. You spoke about the auras. Very smart of him to build the telescope as well.
Yeah.
That's just one more aura to help out that team.
Yeah, it's just, it's looking good for RNG. This is what they've shown all tournament. Haven't really been challenged in the event thus far. And looking good in this game. But remember, it's Enigma Naga. You're one mistake, one overextension away from a critical error.
It's always a little bit hard to hit those Aghanim pounces. But now, locked down by an overgrowth. Miracle's finally going to be forced into that song. But this is where Setsu comes in. With the BKB, he knows he can just hold on to the foil and deal with Miracle at his leisure.
This is a hell of a puck performance, man. This is what they needed, though, right? Which is why it's tough to call in a pregame because you can't really ever cash on a puck playing near flawlessly. Kuro, he's died 7 times. Looks like it might be
yeah. That pounce was right on target.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, this is what Nigma yesterday won that critical game 3 by playing aggressive, by taking the fight to the Pandas. This time it's RNG playing up tempo and abusing this global mobility. To your point, this is something we've talked about being critical in this new patch. Heroes like Puck, Wisp, Slark, they can just cut across so quickly. Venge as well. Treant with the Invis Walk. They can move around the map so much faster than Nigma, so it's easy to avoid those 5-on-5s that this Enigma lineup could use to perhaps turn things around.
Monet loses his BKB for a short while, so we'll see if that costs him anything as Weehaw continues to go for his very aggressive, risky, he's just trying to cut creep waves and bring people back, but you can't. Again, the mobility, they come back, they deal with you, and then they're right back in your face again.
Think about where those 3 last kills happened, right? It was Miracle down bottom where that Radiant creep wave is.
Yeah.
It's up top left in the trees, and then it's in the dire bottom jungle. Like,
that is literally like
3
max
corners.
Distance you can get, yeah.
You talk about controlling the triangle. Well, RNG have made the map into a...
Well, that
into
space
an
from Weehaw
isosceles.
does allow Mind Control to get this outpost. We'll see whether or not he gets to control it, though,
For
as
now.
the 30 minutes is coming up.
Yeah, 40 seconds. Looks like RNG might be grouping up for a smoke, thinking about making something happen. But again, it's just so much easier to play with this Wisp because you can always be 2 and 2. Oh my god!
Well, they're certainly going to find out, hey, the mech is actually going to heal him a decent amount, and Monet may not be able to commit for that kill. Okay, they're going to throw out the Dream Coil, and Setsu, can he get it?
Stole.
No. Super, now locked out of all of his mana. He's going to be left to die here. They had that ward inside the base, which Nigma certainly know about now. But Monet just getting a bit over-aggressive there, especially without his BKB. And immediately, Nigma see a little bit of weakness from RNG. With an IO down, this is an opportunity for them to smoke out.
Yeah, at least get some wards, try and take back control of the map in some regard. Miracle starting to become a problem. He has that Manta Diffusal, which means his damage is online. The Heart is going to drastically increase his survivability, and then that Butterfly timing. That's the one where things start to get dicey for RNG. For now, though, still commanding position, 13K ahead.
Pounce number 1. Doesn't quite
This
catch
wrap
Weehaw.
around.
They do have the...
They found someone.
Yep, they got the scan. Flywin is going to
Got
be caught
BKB.
immediately by the ensnare. BKB going off. Now he's going to turn and try and catch whatever heroes. He wants Mind Control really badly. That's why he swapped him back into the coil. No Aghanim still because that means Mind Control is able to walk out of him. But another swap comes in and Mind Control is going to fall now, as is Kuro, which was just a given at this point in the game.
You can see the
Kuro
power,
has like 10
of the
deaths.
tree, too. September was just camped there. Yeah, it might have looked like Mind Control could have got both heroes with a BKB Black Hole, but he knows that there's a tree just waiting to root him and interrupt. So there's no... You can afford to utilize both swaps aggressively to put him in a position where he has to fight, not flight. And there's still somebody there to counteract the big ulti if necessary. Nigma's still just not... in a position to play that
September.
aggressive.
He found Weehaw, and he's going to be able to cancel that Blink Dagger. Gets a little bit of distance there with that Glimmer Cape that he's got. Didn't really expect that itemization from him, but it may have just saved his life. His Flywin still does not have the swap charges back up.
Heart now up on Miracle. He's gotta make himself bait. Make RNG overextend. You need to get at least a 3-man Black Hole if you're going to win any sort of engagement here. Just look how tanky these heroes are. This Venge with near 2,000 health on Strength Treads, plus all these auras. So Slark probably going to go for either a Scotty or an Abyssal, increase his HP pool even more. September's level 17, man. These guys have such a huge XP lead. Compare that to Kuro's 12. He's the Treant and the Naga are the same level, Cap.
That's a good way of putting it. Weehaw continuing to play the sides of the map and trying over and over again to do that, but he's been caught by the Slark. Does manage to land 1 pounce on him. The relocate coming in as well to be able to help him out, but it looks like Weehaw's managed to drift away into the trees once again, thanks to that Glimmer Cape. That Glimmer Cape has been really on point. You like that play-by-play? All from a mini-map. I'm a god.
Rich is rubbing off on you the wrong way, Cap.
7-26, a 15K gold lead, but it doesn't feel like a very large gold lead just because the threat of Nigma coming back off one team fight. That team fight's certainly not going to be happening around Kuro. Nigma have no problems cutting those ties with their captain and just leaving him to die every single time he's jumped on.
What have we here?
Yep, Setsu still skying away on top of the net with chart. Really impressive performance so far. Just the one death. But more importantly, he's been the one being aggressive, effectively the entire game. And here's more.
Yep, one more time. All right, this time we've got vision. Weehaw, you're not getting away with that Glimmer Cape again. So at what point in time, is there any time that you would say, RNG, okay, you just have to go the high ground. You can't mess around with trying for these pickoffs anymore, or do you think this is going exactly the way RNG wants? They're going to get enough pickoffs and eventually go high.
So far, it's according to plan. One of the mistakes that a lot of inexperienced teams would make in this scenario is to get too aggressive because you feel the pressure of the clock. You already have enough of a lead that you're much stronger than your enemy, but it's about taking the right fight. You've already taken all the tier 2s. Roshan hasn't spawned yet. Once you get the Aegis, once you have everything everybody slotted up and buybacks prepared, then you can look to play for the win. But it's important that when you take that fight, you're able to fully commit. That means an Aegis. That means everybody's able to buy back. So in the event you make a bit of a mistake, because you have to be aggressive, you have to be inside the base, you could lose 3, still buy back against 0 cooldowns left from Nigma, and then take 1, maybe 2 racks. That gives you the lead enough to win the game. If you do that too soon, you have to take that engagement without enough of a lead to make that sort of maneuver, and you can backfire. All of a sudden, it's a 10-slotted Naga, and you're in deep doo-doo.
Especially since the way that Setsu has played this game so well, his damage is kind of keeping up with the tankiness that is coming from Miracle, because he's now got both the Maelstrom as well as the Desolator I've seen from the Orb proc.
Yeah, a big part of it is they've itemized so well that you're not as afraid of this Butterfly next item. You're going to have the Mjolnir, you have Slark with his next item in addition to a neutral, so you'll have 2 cores that are near 6-slotted, plus your Venge with like 4 different auras. So everyone's very tanky, you have high survivability, you'll be able to live through this black hole most likely, and if not, buyback, there's not going to really be any damage on Nigma once these illusions fall. Bounty runes, 2 1 for 1? No, 3 going the way of RNG.
Weeha's trying to find the answer to your damage problem that we've seen throughout this game. He's just going for a Dagon straight up. Meanwhile, Monet with the
I love it.
as well.
We didn't see this yesterday in that game. I believe there was a PL that just got way too big and eventually took over. There were no Mjolnirs. If you want to beat Illusion Heroes with no true counter, buy Radiances, buy Mjolnir. If you don't deserve to lose, RNG not going to be caught sleeping in this one.
Certainly not, and they're not going to let their outpost lie in the favor of Team Nigma for long. Script up around mid. It looks like they may be going for a smoke or something as I see a courier being delivered. He's expecting kind of an aggressive move, and Monet, well, he's going to go. He's going to oblige and make an aggressive move, and he actually lands into GH, who is still on phase shift, but is, well, he's got another phase shift in a second here. Maybe he can get the blink off this time around. He should. Oh, he didn't. Well, that's unfortunate.
The reach, man. Talk about kill potential, right? We discussed how Disruptor was so popular in the patch. You've got a Puck, a Slark with double pounces, the double swaps, plus relocate.
Oh, no
available.
way. He found mind control. And mind control is forced to use his BKB.
That's huge. You have a 60-second window now. You can potentially just go high ground. You know that there's no huge black hole threat. All the Venge or Tree have to do is stand on the side. As long as they don't die during black hole to like the other heroes or get tossed in or something wild, this is a free push.
Well, fortunately, the mid lane is pushed in because Weeha was already cutting the bottom wave. Now he's actually cutting mid right now, so it just leaves RNG this one wave to work with.
I like this choice. Miracle, buyback's irrelevant. You need to be strong as possible. He buys a Butterfly to ensure he's got the DPS to hopefully contest this push.
Yeah, because they're not even that much trouble in that situation, right? As long as Weeha cuts the creep waves, well, the illusions can be sent out and deal with the creeps that are inside the base, and eventually RNG is going to deal with backdoor protection. Looks like a couple creeps got snuck in there, and they're gonna swap back onto mind control. That's a massive kill with no BKB. He quickly falls. He does have a buyback, another swapping from Flywin is gonna be able to catch GH. A lot of priority on that hero, but they do have the 2 buybacks coming in, especially with the song. Can Nigma set this up correctly though? Monet still had his BKB, who's able to pop it out, swap back onto mind control once again. But this time around, no Dream Qual, and Flywin's gonna die for that swap back. Now a toss over as well. They're gonna be able to catch September. September is gonna use the overgrowth and run the other direction. Can he actually get out of here into the trees? TP's out. Bye-bye, September.
You could not have played it better on RNG. You forced the buyback. Now you can all in. You've got a 7.5-second window where if you kill mind control, you straight up win the game. And that's only because they were willing to hard commit, but not so much so. You saw the BKBs. It was a great song by Miracle, but there was still enough seconds left on the immunity to get away from that position where all 3 were on top of each other. Maybe then MC could spin this around, but really good job there. Even the nice escape by September. Gets the ult off and just gets out of dodge. And now RNG, you're going to wait for your Venge and sweep immediately back into this Radiant side of the map.
RNG are truly showing that it's not about the time at the top of the screen, but the opportunities. And when you can push the high ground, and they certainly found an opportunity, force some errors out of Nigma, and now they are pretty much just one good fight away from, you know, closing out the game, essentially, right? With no buyback on Enigma, and this is what the whole lineup's about, is that black hole. Okay, coil onto 1, Miracle. Immediately goes for the song. BKB activated by Zetsu, and he's doing so much damage. Kuro's definitely going to be dying here. Miracle, the stun finally wears off, and Mind Control popping his BKB. Thought he was going to go for the black hole or something, but blinks away instead. And Miracle died. He's going to be okay, but Mind Control still trod. Okay, the swap from GH, was that?
Yeah, it was.
And Mind Control might be able to live as a result. GH gives them a little bit more distance to work with. Now the Meteor Hammer is going to land on a Weehaw, so they at least get that core kill. But Mind Control, if he died with no buyback. Like,
that was crazy from GH. My
Jesus.
God. This is why this man's TI winner.
All of a sudden, like, there's just a swap, and he's
how
not
did he
even there
blink
because
out?
he instantly blinked away as well.
He had a 1/10 of a second to get away from that orb location, or he would have caught the damage and immediately died. But no, blinks out in time, and what a game so far. RNG still looking to close this out. No BKB on Enigma. They've just got to find that kill.
RNG. They've played a great game so far. Very clean, very few mistakes, and they're in the best position they've been all game to finally end this barracks. They have the Aegis and Cheese on the Slark, so dying there is not that big of a deal. But Miracle's coming in for the side, going straight for September, trying to deal with one of the black hole threats, but Miracle immediately has 2 cores. Oh, but the black hole comes in on the 3 for Thompson as well, but the swap finally stops it. With the group of so many heroes, September's already dead, but Miracle then at half health. Monet just does not let him get away. Song of Siren going off. Miracle still stuck in that pounce, and the leash lasts a long time. He's still stuck. That toss doesn't allow you to be able to get away. Miracle, can he get out? Well, Monet, he pounces on board, ignores Curls. He wants Miracle. They need to be able to get him out of here. Swap for swap. GH does it once again. He does manage to lock down Super. Miracle turns on him, but the Aeon Desk is going to be able to protect him for the time being. The phase shift attack going out. Zetsu locking down Miracle. He wants to be able to chase him down with that orb, and he's almost dead too. Miracle managed to dodge a little bit more. Can he get back to the fountain before Monet? No, because the overgrowth locks him down, and that is it. Nigma down with 5, no buybacks, and RNG looking like beasts here at playoffs.
Unbelievable. You see that level 25 talent, Dream Coil Rapid Fire. He immediately just goes for Miracle, and all the illusions are dead. So yeah, you're taking this fight, you get a nice black hole. Venge is still there for the swap out. What a fight.